Pamela Moses was convicted and sentenced to 6 years, not for carjacking, not for housebreaking, not for armed robbery, not for attempted murder, not for assault, but for voting. Now the punishment must fit the crime. If there is to be any punishment at all, because voting is a civic duty. Pamela Moses, 44, had a felony record of not no serious crimes, but mostly fraudulent crimes, silly things. And she had pleaded guilty to a felony for a silly thing, not nothing to harm anyone really. And in Tennessee, a convicted felon loses his right to vote permanently. Now, the probation officer, after she was on probation, the probation officer and the county election board signed off on her to be able to vote. The probation officers say that they made a mistake, and the county election officials made a mistake in giving her the right to, saying that she had the right to vote. So the mistake should be on them, not on her. Those are official offices. So if they made the mistake, they have to bear the brunt of their mistake. And then they say that she fooled them by telling them, the probation office, that she was off of probation. If you can tell a probation office that you are off of probation and then take your word for it, they are inept. And that whole system had to be revised. How can you fool somebody, a probation officer, and say, I'm off probation? They say, okay. The whole system is a nap in there in Tennessee, from the judge on down. Now, Pamela Moses actually thought she had the right to vote, and why would she risk her freedom just to vote? A civic duty. She risked it just to vote. Now, people have done more fraudulent things, outright fraud, by using a white man, it was stated, used his dead wife name and cast a ballot in her name. And he was sentenced to probation. And other Caucasian people. So this system is unfair. So voting, there's no monetary gain in that for her. There's no prestige in that for her. She's just exercising her right to choose who she wants to represent her in government. Nothing monetary about that. No prestige. Nothing that she would gain. Yes, she considered it so important in this land of the devil. The vote for which character she wants to represent her in this system of injustice. Sure, she's going to appeal that. 6 years for voting? When the officials made mistakes that allowed her to vote. All of that add up to them having jam on their face. Show their ignorance, their stupidity, and the government is very stupid. The system is set up and they just fit into it, but they are silly. Maybe more smarter people set up the system, but the one occupying the space are very, very stupid and prejudiced. It's like being surrounded, compassed about with dogs, with the mind of dogs. I see them even when I went to the supermarket, talking to one of the workers there in the supermarket, and the Caucasian woman all of a sudden just stared straight at me, looking to our business. And people give them the pet name of Karen. Karen, give them that pet name. It's just like being compared by dogs. Really? With the spirit of dogs. And in the same supermarket, I went to the banana, where the banana stand is, and one of the Caucasian workers putting bananas on the stall. And I just went to pick up my bananas, and she looked like she wanted to project her spirit into me, that evil spirit that she have. But I threw it back at her. So when you see them following you around, not always it's because they expect that you're going to steal something. They want to get into our lives. The silliness, they can't help themselves, really. That's why we have to be done away with, and we have to move away from them and establish our own. So the system is unfair, and it's evident to see. Pamela Moses, convicted of voting. And the punishment have to fit the crime. But when you're compared by dogs, really, the justice meted out by the minds of dog-like creatures. And so, as I mix that with my everyday life, just going about my business, mind my own business. It's like a pet dog, you have a puppy, and at one time, puppies just wanted to get around my feet, and I shoo them away. I mean, it was kind of mean of me. This was many years ago, maybe about over 50 years ago. And this was in Arizona. I shooed the puppy away, and it came back. Shoo him away, it came back. And dogs used to be so attracted to me for some reason. When I was younger, I don't know why. I must have a calm, peaceful attitude, I guess. And the dogs, like they just want to like follow me. Similar to Caucasian people and black people who have the spirit of Caucasian people. So we have to, on the alert, cleanse our minds, accept the truth, accept what is real, and get